Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and with The Accountant, starring Ben Affleck, right around the corner, I thought it fun to go and read way too much into Paycheck, starring Ben Affleck, because accountants, they do the money so that it goes to the paycheck. You know, because Ben Affleck... I'm sorry. I thought it was funny. So I thought it'd be fun to go back and read way too much into Paycheck, which honestly I had never seen before. So I was kind of glad it was on Netflix, so I didn't have to, pay anything for it. So it was kind of cool. Anyway, so I don't know. It was an interesting movie. I think I really enjoyed the overall story, but there were a lot of little things in the movie I didn't like. But that's not what this is. So as I'm watching this movie, Paycheck, if there was anything that I could just read way too much into this movie, to me, it looks like this movie is just a gigantic picture of how human beings just want to control everything. I mean, the whole basis of this story is Ben Affleck is this guy that kind of just, he steals technology, he reverse engineers it, and then tries to make it a little bit better, and then the competition goes out and does their thing, and then this company erases his memory so that he has no memory of having worked on any of that stuff. So to me, that's like phase one of their control. They're controlling his mind. They're controlling what he knows and he doesn't know about his own freaking job. It makes me wonder, how does he remember his skills? I mean, is it technically him practicing his skills when he can't remember doing anything and exercising his skills? These are philosophical questions that should be asked of some movies sometimes. So that was like level number one. Level number two, they bring Ben Affleck into this huge project. Uma Thurman was working there. Oh, that was the interesting thing about this movie. You have Uma Thurman, Poison Ivy from Batman and Robin, Aaron Eckhart, Two-Face from The Dark Knight, and Ben Affleck, our current Batman. Back on track here. So they bring him onto this 3-year job where they're going to erase 3 years of his memory. And, he's going to make a boatload of money. But of course, during these 3 years, he falls in love with Uma Thurman because what would be memory loss without a love story thrown in there? But what was interesting was what he ends up building for these people is this machine that sees the future. And they try to throw in some stuff about Einstein and some theory about some lens that can see around the curve of the universe and causing it to reflect back on itself. And reflecting back, you can reflect back on the future. You know what, though? As weird as an explanation as that was, I bought it, because to me, the story is what I was enjoying. But that was another phase of man wanting so much control. So Aaron Eckhart is like the dude that runs this company that has the machine that can see the future. And what do you think he wants it for? Do you think he wants to make the world a better place? No, he wants to make himself a rich man. So that's kind of the whole story with this movie. Just Ben Affleck trying to follow the clues that he left himself, that he doesn't remember leaving himself, in order to try to save the world from a grim future. But here's the fascinating thing. I mean, this is the idea I picked up from the movie. They kind of explain this really fast. So if you've seen it and I'm getting this wrong, let me know. But it looked like when he was looking at pictures of headlines from the future that he somehow got into a stamp and he was able through a microscope to look at. I mean, it looks like there was these headlines of war, famine, this, that, and the other. But it looked like in trying to avert a plague, they really created another plague. In order to prevent going into a war, they really started an entirely different war. So even in their attempts to control the future, they still had no real control. And I think the whole point of this movie was trying to control the future like that, trying to control other people's minds, trying to have all that control really isn't control at all, because the illusion, the great illusion of life is that we're in control. Of course we're not in control. We can barely control anything as it is. I mean, half the time I can't control if a computer's gonna work or not. I mean, come on. So to me, as I'm reading into this movie, that's the picture I see. And what's interesting is when they were talking about this lens of time and how they could see the curve of the universe, I could not help but think C.S. Lewis's The Great Divorce. In that book, and I love C.S. Lewis, he's my favorite author, so yeah, that's why I talk about him all the time. There's this character that gets to stand outside of time. And as he's standing outside of time and looking down on time, it's freaking him out, because now he's feeling like there's no choice, that it's all just predestination and free will is the illusion. But then the guy that's with him is like, no, that's not what you're seeing. See, when you look at everything without the lens of time and you're just seeing the eternal nature of everything, I mean, the mortal eyes can't bear to look upon their own immortal soul. And that's where this lens of time is actually a gift. And it's a gift because through that lens, we get to see the thing that makes us the most like our Heavenly Father. we have choice, we have free will, and through that lens of time, we get to see how real our choices are and how impactful those choices are. So you have these guys who aren't understanding the choices. They're looking past that. They're just trying to see the future, trying to control the future, but they don't even understand the choices and things that are leading to those futures. So when you're not even understanding that, how are you going to control anything? And that's where I find, like, in my life, I can be a control freak. I can. So every day it's a new lesson to learn to just relax in the fact that I can't control anything. But I know that I have a God who loves me, who cares about me, who has good thoughts towards me and good plans for me. So I don't have to worry about controlling everything. I just have to let go and trust his leadership in my life and just step by step let his plan unfold in my life. And that is the better and most free way to live. Rather than trying to control everything, letting his plan unfold in my life and trusting that since God is love and his thoughts towards me are good, then I can let that influence play out in my life and rest in the plans that he's got. If you saw Paycheck, what did you think of this movie and what did you read into it? Make sure to let me know in the comments. While you're there, hit that subscribe button. Be on top of all the new videos coming out here on Durbania. I'm Durbin. Thank you so much for checking out Durbania.